Hey, shalom, shalom, Israel. Shalom, shalom. What's going on? What's going on? Glad to be back in. Glad to be back home. Bringing you the truth as we always do. I'm smiling because we made it home from Passover. It can't get no better than this. One thing that is just like a breath of fresh air for Israelites is our family reunion. Our Passover. Like, let me see if I can give it how a Christian might understand it. You know how when Christians get to go to Sunday school or they get to go to church on Sunday and they say that rejuvenates me for the week until I gotta go back to church again. Well, for Israelites, the Passover is just like that, except it's a rejuvenation for the entire year until we get to go to the next Passover. It gives a brother and a sister the strength, to be able to move mountains. Like that Passover experience, man, I can't stop smiling because it's beautiful. It was just glorious. And just to know that we made it there safely, made it back home safely, everything else is just a plus. Everything else is just a plus. Like I can't really explain it, man. You would have had to be there to witness this thing. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. Excuse me 1 second. All right, so we are the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And since 1969, we've been teaching so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians their true culture according to the Bible. Now, as I was saying earlier about the Passover, that's why I sound like this. Because during our Passover week, you hear what I'm saying? Passover week, we have events lined up the entire way. We got slaughtering of the lambs, have classes, we have all black party, we have the Passover itself. We have the Feast of Unleavened Bread the day after. There's so much to do. Like, let's look at some of these things. I just want to we're gonna get into these scriptures, of course, of course, of course. But I just wanted to show y'all some of these things. They're just amazing. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, y'all gotta see it. It's just beautiful. It was just beautiful. I'm gonna pull this up first. See if y'all can see this. It's not clear enough right there. I don't want to show me one. I was looking for a flyer, just a quick flyer, really quick to show y'all of all the events that took place. Well, here it is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I was in the shock on it real quick. Let me show y'all this. Let me show y'all this. Share my screen. 55th Passover. Share. Boom. So look at this right here, y'all. Let me show y'all this. So this is what we had for the 55th Passover. Things what we did. Y'all can see this. You know what I'm saying? I'll scroll down a little bit. So y'all see, of course. Oh, whoa, that went crazy. The hell? That wasn't it. Oh, damn. Oh, okay, there it goes. Let me go back. Salaki. All right, so as y'all can see right here, right, we had the Passover celebration. We had the Feast of Unleavened Bread. We had General Muhammad Scripture Breakdown class. We had the All Black Party. We had free babysitting. We had the kids party. We had free transportation to all the events. And this is what I'm saying. And I mean too much more. I mean just brotherhood and sisterhood everywhere. Like you couldn't have planned. Like the Lord is with Israel when I tell you when it comes to these Passover. When it comes to this eyes became Passover, there is nothing like it under God's green earth. Like this is the whole point of my class today. Heaven in the midst of hell. Like I was thinking about something, while I was on the way here, and I was saying to myself that while we were at Passover, we were at peace. We were loving one another. We was watching out for each other. Of course, we had brothers on watch. We had things, we had we took our precautions to make sure that nothing evil happened, you understand, to us or to our brothers and our sisters and the children there, right? We made sure of all that. But I was just thinking that while we were enjoying and living life and being at peace, the entire world was in the middle of hell. Like people were still getting murdered. We didn't have to deal with murders in our school on that day. And well, we don't have to deal with them, period. But that day, it was so much love. We didn't have to worry about people stealing, nobody lying, nobody getting beat to hell, nobody, you know what I'm saying, like I said, getting murdered, nobody was getting raped, you know what I'm saying, or sexually assaulted. Nothing was happening in a sense of evil. And we were living like we should be living in the midst of Israel. Like it was love. People, brothers and sisters got fed. The children was just running around. I got so many pictures of the babies just having fun. Brothers and sisters having conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like brothers, I'm talking about genuine just brothers breaking down the scriptures. Brothers just talking about life. Brothers just walking and catching up. Like sisters hugging one another, taking thousands of pictures, doing line dance, like just love, just having a great time. And then I'm thinking, like, the rest of the world is in hell. They're in turmoil right now. Bombs getting dropped, people over here getting shot. It is hell outside of the doors of the ISUPK. And this 420 proved it. This 420 proved it. Like everything was smooth, wonderful, great, lovely. And then if you pull up, which I'm about to do, I'm going to do it. Let me go ahead and do it right now. Let me do it right now. Here you go. I'm gonna go with 420 24 murders. Here you go. Got a story for you right here at the top. What does it say? Boy finds Boy 10 finds bodies of family, including three brothers. 4:23:24. We got brothers and sisters just now still trying to make it back from Passover. They was enjoying life. Everything was just fine. 4:20:24. In case y'all think it wasn't nothing recent. At least 2 killed, 6 others injured in shooting at Memphis. In Orange Mound. Right here where I'm at. Wow, see, this is what I'm saying. This is what our people gotta go and do. They gotta go and go to these track meet or to these meetups, and before you know it, they're getting murdered on the scene. 3 dead, 1 hospitalized after a fatal shooting in Weirton. This is what I'm talking about. We were relaxed. We were drinking. We were having a good time. We was living our life, and we were having so much camaraderie. And y'all see what the rest of the world was having to deal with. The rest of the world was having to deal with their addictions. They were having to deal with the families that they don't love. They were having to deal with getting abused, getting beat. You understand? They were having to deal with hell. They were having to struggle. While the entire time we're at home amongst one another in North Carolina, living a glorious, you understand, putting together a Passover and doing something. We just practicing these works so that we can then later on have the kingdom and continue these things. And while we're doing that, to make sure that we have a great future, everybody else is present. That present is being destroyed right before their eyes. We praying to the Most High God. See, I'm gonna bring something out, and I don't know if y'all ready for this, but while we praying and while we saying those things to the Most High God, how we want these curses to fall on those that try to stop us and those that come against us, they come against the captains, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, the sisters, the babies of Israel. While we talking all this stuff, those things are happening outside of those doors. Outside of what we got going on, it's hell happening out there. It is hell happening out there. The things that we're asking for is happening. Now, with those things happening, you got to think to yourself now, damn, we really had some peace. We really, I don't want to have to argue about what heaven and hell is. We've had our discussions on what heaven and hell is according to the Bible. We've done that already. No sweat. So we understand that heaven and hell are conditions, mental, physical, and spiritual conditions. You understand? On earth, you don't go anywhere and go to some fiery place, as you understand. But as I said, we're not having that discussion. This discussion is more so about the way everybody else has to suffer while the Lord gives us peace of mind. While the Lord gives us peace of mind. We don't have to stress about the same things everybody else does. We're about to go there right now. We're about to start getting these scriptures. Let me go to Daniel chapter 2, verse 4 real quick. Let's go to Daniel 2 and 4. It's like a 2 and 44, my apologies. Why is it putting up the wrong thing? Bear with me, Salaki. All right, so here we go. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. Read, here we go, right here now. And in those days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. This is what everybody else got to understand. This is what we're working towards in our kingdom. This is what in this kingdom. We are working towards having a kingdom that is going to stand forever. Because, hey, what's going on, sis? How you feeling? I'm all right. Because one thing everybody else have to understand is that every kingdom before this one has fallen. And they're going to continue to do the same thing. You got anything? You got any questions? Anything, sis? Take your time. Take your time.
It was just a general question. Like, I guess when over the weekend, I think.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you have, so like let's just say you one of your one of your spouses is not in the truth, but you are.
Mm-hmm.
Do you get your you don't they don't bless marriages like that, do they?
What do you mean?
So I can use myself. It's not a question for me, but
You mean like the generals and stuff like that?
yeah, like
Will they bless your marriage?
Yeah.
Well,
Do they do that?
why wouldn't they?
Because like my husband, he not in here. That's what I was asking.
Okay, well, let's look at it from the instance of a brother, right?
Mm.
Brothers sometimes get women that are in the world, right?
Mm.
And well, I'll ask you the question: is that marriage valid according to the Lord?
You say that.
Like, does the Lord look at that as a marriage? If a brother sleeps with a woman in the world, right? Does he think that's a marriage? Right. So the generals would also see it as a marriage, right? So it'll be a worthy, because you have to look at it like, let's say I bring a sister into the truth, and I just she's under me, but she doesn't come into the school, and I give her a name, and she's with me all the time, but at the same time, she still never comes into the truth or comes into the school, as I say. Would it be wrong or would anybody else not look at that as a marriage?
No, I wouldn't. I would look at it as you're not married to the sister.
Right.
No.
Everybody would look at it like it's a marriage, and you can get that marriage blessed. Because why not? It is your marriage. Like, I'm using myself for an example. I've had a sister come into, be under me, but not in the school. I've given her a name. She's my woman. When you're asking for a blessing on your marriage, it's not like you saying, give me something that, it's sacred, but it's not something that can be like taken from you or something that can be. This is a marriage. It's something that the Lord looks at. He considers this a blessed thing. So you're asking for a covering over your marriage, right? Because what's the point of a blessing of your marriage? What's the point of it? Because what are you asking for?
Like for us to be together.
Okay, to be together, right? What else?
That's a good question. Like, I'm getting married, but what am I asking for?
Right. Because that's what I'm trying to get to. Because what are you asking for as far as a blessing?
Okay, I guess to protect us, but does that mean to protect us both? But like, if I can only use myself because I don't want to use nobody else.
Ain't no sweat.
I guess to protect. Because I guess just because my husband in the world, that don't mean I don't want to protect him. But like,
what does the scripture say about somebody that is in the truth, but they have somebody that is willing to dwell with them in peace?
They are sanctified
By the exactly.
Okay.
So that sanctified is technically blessed. That's what that word is. They're blessed because of you. Like it's everything that you do, everything that I do. Like they'll if they love you, they wouldn't do anything evil against you. They wouldn't. They'll try to even curve some of their things that they do in the world because when they're around you, they don't want to look bad or they don't want you to be. You know what I'm saying, to feel like you have to be persuaded by them if they really love you with some of those things. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean by I'm talking about other people. You know what I'm saying? In their situations. But these people are with you. And so when I'm saying like what are you asking for when it comes to being blessed in your marriage, all of those things that you asking for. Like that whole little list that you want, you know what I'm saying, to have protection, to be financially, you know what I'm saying, stable, to have whatever it is that you might have some issues that in your marriage that you won't fix. That blessed, because when we go through Deuteronomy chapter 28, right? What we got 15 verses of what blessed is. You see, the Lord said he'll bless your store. He'll bless you in the city. He'll bless, you know what I'm saying? He'll bless the fruit of your womb. These are all blessings. But they all are covering just what they're covering the nation. And this is just if we do right. So you think about it in a sense of if you're asking for the same thing for your marriage. You got a list of things that you may want. And in order to have those things, you have to ask for them. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with getting your marriage blessed by somebody in the school, you know what I'm saying, by a general, by captain, whatever. Yeah, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, no sweat. Definitely. And also, talk about, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, it was just a question
Definitely.
topic of discussion this weekend. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna ask one.
I mean, but I wouldn't, you know what I'm saying, just I wouldn't see why it would be a an evil thing or a wrong thing. I mean, definitely, I don't think it's a sin for one because, like I said, brothers have women in the world and they come in all the time. You know what I'm saying? And they may not be in here, but it's my woman and I still want my marriage to be blessed. You know what I'm saying?
That's just because you asked that they mean that we will though.
What do you mean?
Like just because.
Well, usually it's during a time when we're having a feast or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So now if you are you mean like during a class or something like that?
No, like, because I have seen it where brothers would go up there and they won't, like, no, sit down, go sit down. So just because you asked, they mean.
Was it during the same time
like
a lot of people
not this year.
I'm saying, was it during the time other people was getting blessed?
Yeah. I've seen the same. That's the reason why I asked. And I don't know their situation, but I have seen them like, no, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know their situation, but it's like I said, I can only use me. Not saying that this is something that I'm asking or requesting.
Yeah.
Because I would definitely talk to Cap if there was a thing. It was just a topic this weekend.
Yeah.
I said, I'm gonna ask about that in classes. I don't know.
I mean,
and so it's best for me to use my situation because my husband isn't in the school. And I'm like, hey, June, can you come bless us? I'm like, is he in the school? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? No, then go sit down. Okay. I
mean, because now I see what you're saying.
Is he doing this? Is he doing that?
Right. Now, because that's the thing, they have that. They can judge that.
That's what
they can say no.
Okay.
I mean, they have the right to say no, but I mean, because think about it. What if you have brothers that'll go get a woman in the world, and what if she's a woman of the world? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not blessing this. Yeah. Especially if we've been to counsel. I've talked to you about this thing a million times or even twice or whatever. Okay. They've had situations where they've talked to people and told them, don't do this. Okay. They're not going to then go and say, yeah, we're going to pour oil on this thing and consider this lovely. No. Okay. I'm saying, yeah, they definitely have that right to say no. I mean, but again, we don't know. We just got to find out the situation of what it is. Okay. Because, I mean, yeah, that's a touchy subject.
I know. That's where I get
to that's a touchy thing. Yeah,
but it answers the question both. Like, yes, they can and they have the right to say no.
Right.
It answers that question.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but because that's dealing with anything as far as Israel, because we're a nation of judges. We're gonna judge everything. I mean, ain't no. Hey, yeah, that's no situation where it's just like we don't think about it first and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go with this or I'm not gonna go with that. Okay. Yeah, it's the same thing. So okay, we always make sure. Okay. But yeah, come on. That's heavy. That was heavy. That was a good question, sis. Yeah, man. But yeah, so the topic that I'm on today is heaven in the midst of hell. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about pretty much how during our while we were in Passover, you know what I'm saying, we were enjoying our time and having a wonderful time. Things were smooth. We made it there, we made it back home, and all these different things. But at the same time, it was hell outside of that. Everybody else was struggling. I mean, people are getting bombs dropped on them right now at this time while we're sipping wine. You know what I'm saying? We're eating lamb. We're praying to the most high. People are literally getting murdered on 420. People are still addicted to heavy drugs. Right. You feel what I'm saying? All of these things are going on outside of our Passover. Right. And we're given a peaceful mind by the right. Most High. That's right. That peace is unmatched when it comes to everything else. Like, so being in here is what gives us that kind of peace because, all right, so you know how Christians, they go to church, right? And every time they go to church on that Sunday, they'd be like, this is rejuvenation for me for the next time, for the whole week until I go to church. When we go to Passover, that's the feeling that I get. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times I'm going and I'm there and I enjoy the Passover and I'm ready. When I get back home, I'm ready for camp. I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to get this thing going, whatever it is. And that's how I feel about Passover and about life. But I'm watching and I'm seeing everybody else too. And I'm seeing like, shit, they in trouble in the world. Like I just pulled up. This was a crazy thing. Hold on, let me see if I can put this back up real quick. On the day of Passover, there was a young man. He found, here it is, boy, he's 10 years old. He finds the bodies of his family, including his three brothers. Wow. 10 years old on the day of Passover. I mean, 420 itself is, we know, the marijuana holiday. Mm-hmm. People are doing all of these things and being, of course, we know, being addicted to drugs and addicted to trying to find an escape. And they don't have that in the world. We have that escape. I remember I was, I didn't want to put this out there, but anyway, I'm not going to do it. Anyway, I was going through something, and Captain Soccer War was talking to someone for me, and he was telling them, like, yeah, we have to go to our family reunion. And so when I heard that, I was like, damn, that's really what it is. Yeah. We go to our family reunion and it's a damn good time. Yeah. Like, this is something that actually makes me feel like this thing is worth it by the end of the day. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because when we go to Passover and we get to see so many brothers, because I could only imagine how Commander Junior Hunter feels, how he watched it grow from those 7 brothers that he had by himself. You know what I'm saying? Then he get a few little captains here, and now it's hundreds and hundreds, or, you know what I'm saying, thousands of brothers. Like, I mean, you got sisters and children. Like, I took so many pictures of just so many people, and I don't think I ever took the same picture twice. You feel what I'm saying? Like, just to see that is amazing. Yeah. Like, we were down there. Houston said they came 125 deep. With Texas alone. Yeah, I said, that is insane. That's insane. And that's just one camp. Like, not to mention all the other brothers coming, and then just to hear where brothers are coming from. And then, I mean, it's just so many things. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place, but Boeing, the aircraft company, they are having lawsuits and everything else because their aircrafts are shitty. They're literally falling apart mid-flight. I mean, the gas is leaking out of them. The wings are coming off of them. Like, yeah, they're falling apart because they are allowing them to use their pieces from like scrap parts. And so all of these things are happening, but nothing ever happens to us. Like, that's the heavy part about all of this. I saw one brother say, everybody on that flight should be thankful because a priest is on it and they can make it safely wherever they're going. And I think about that. Like everywhere I go, like everywhere the sisters go, I be like, yo, if we're in Walmart and all of this was to come to an end right now, do you know who they're gonna have to look to? They're gonna have to look to you. Like they're gonna literally, like the Lord is gonna tell everybody, Kapataza is in here, find her. If you don't find her, it's done. Like think about that. That's who you are. Like you're rare. For us to be in here doing what we're doing for the Most High, like if it all came crashing down, the Most High is gonna make sure that you are fine and whoever comes with you. Like think about it when Rahab, the prostitute, when Joseph and them, I mean, excuse me, Joshua and them first was taking over Israel. They came and she was selling. She sold out her nation and said, "I'm going to give up whatever you want. Please just don't kill my family. Just let me bring my family with me, and you can have the entire nation. I'll open the back door for you." And we went in there and slaughtered her entire nation just because she wanted to live. Yeah. Like the Lord is kind of making us that sacrifice. Like we're doing the right thing. So he's gonna anybody that's with us and doing what we're doing is going to come. Yeah. So when it comes crashing down, they're gonna have to find you. They're gonna have to look for you. They're gonna have to follow you and do what you say or perish. Like that's the peace that we get. Like we may be struggling. People may call us bums and everything right now. Like people get a job, but they do talk to us bad, and we living good. Like we work hard as hell. We got 2 jobs, 3 jobs. Like come on, we got businesses and everything. But you know what I'm saying. But the way that we live now and the sacrifices that we make, like think about it. This is the Feast of Unleavened Bread week, right? You damn near have to have a Mediterranean diet at this point right now to be able to make a meal. You feel what I'm saying? Like, think about not you can't eat the cheeseburger like you just want, like you just go up the street and grab a burger. Right. No. That's a sacrifice that we're making right now. That is how big it is. Like people may not even know that we doing this. Nobody sees it. Why are we doing it? Like, what's the point? The point is, nigga, we finna be something and we're gonna be somewhere. And the people that we're gonna be, you're gonna have to look up to those people. Yeah. You're gonna have to follow us. They have no choice. Like these are heavenly sacrifices. And that's what people don't make today. The heavenly sacrifices. The things that are gonna count. Because I mean everybody wants now. You know what I'm saying? This is the microwave generation, especially now. Yeah. I mean, I saw something. I was actually looking at something today, and they were talking about AI. This is gonna be crazy. One thing that we used to have to do is we used to have to read through things, right? Mm-hmm. And we have to summarize things and actually know what these things mean, break down words and all of these things, try to translate things. It does something with your mind. It makes you more disciplined. It makes you have patience. It makes you actually use different parts of your mind to think. But now that we have AI, you don't have to use those parts of your mind anymore. For them to make a nation of just straight slaves, it's going to be easy. Because think about it, nobody has to think anymore. We can just type it in and ask, what does this mean? We can copy and paste a symbol, put it in here, and they'll give you a whole breakdown and the history. I went through my phone on Facebook right now. You can go on there right now and go on Meta. And they have let me see if I can get to this thing. They have AI generated, like a little question mark. It's right here above this plus. This little thing right here.
Oh, okay, come.
Yeah. And I put in there, I didn't even know. I was trying to, usually that's where you find people at and you search and stuff like that. And it said, ask Meta AI anything. And I put ISUPK 55th annual Passover. Do you know? As a matter of fact, let me just show you this. Let me just show you this. Not only did it pull up, it gave me something crazy. Let me just pull this up. If you look at just look at it. Look, because I pulled it up 3 or 4 times because I couldn't believe I couldn't believe what they pulled up. Look at that. Do you see they gave me a complete breakdown of the ISUPK, who it is, what our Passover is for, the high holy days that we celebrate.
Right here, is this what it is?
All of that, yeah. Right? You see that?
First fruits.
This is how they're coming.
Please note that I should be cast specific practices they differ from mainstream Jewish.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course.
You did put it in there again. Oh my god.
I kept asking
Oh my
because
god.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I should PK High Holy Days, and
That's crazy.
this is how it's coming now.
That is crazy.
This is how it's coming now.
That's how they coming now.
I saw the other day. Again, I may be a little off topic, but y'all bear with me. So, I saw the other day they gave this company, I think it was like $30 billion or more, to put a train on the moon.
To put a train? They gave who what, sir?
I'm telling you, it's crazy out here now. Yeah, yeah. Let me find this. Let me find this. This is how we're living in America. And I'm bringing up all of this for a reason, of course. Like, if you just even think about it, like, you obviously see where I'm going. I mean, come on, man. The government is funding. Let me see if I can put it on the big screen. Let me see. This is incredible. This is definitely how they do this. Let me see. Share. Hold on. Boom. Right here. All right. So the government is funding a project to put a train on the moon. This is from March 22, 2024.
Oh.
Yeah. That new.
Oh.
This is. We have to talk about a lot of things when it comes to putting a train on the moon.
Crazy.
I mean, because there's no gravity up there, right?
Right.
And you're about to have something that, I mean, what kind of train is this about to be?
What kind of train is this?
I mean, how are you about to? They're about to build entire civilizations on the moon. They're trying to do it with Mars. What's his name? Elon Musk. This guy said there's going to have to be martyrs in this thing called space travel. Some people are just going to have to die. This is how they look at life. This is how they look at things when they're going to conquer and colonize. People are just going to have to die. We're going to have to send people. Some people are going to have to get these diseases. Some people just going to have to breathe that little funky dust air up there. And, they're going to have to die. We got to see. We got to study them. That's how they did us. That's how they did, everything. They send monkeys. They send rats. They test these things out. But sometimes you have to have what? Human trials. You have to get to them human trials. And that is what they're at right now. They're trying to build a train on the moon. Because then you have to ask yourself, for what purpose? You got a train on the moon to do what? Trains are for hauling. So what are you hauling? And where are you hauling it to? From one location to the next. Obviously, you got to go from A to B.
Yeah.
So what are you hauling? They're trying to colonize. So what are they doing with the Earth? Why are they trying to move to the moon? These things. This is what I mean. This is the hell that everybody's not even recognizing. I don't think people are seeing these things. There's a lot going on. Yeah, there's gender wars and all over the internet. Men hate women, women hate men. These things are important, yes. But let's see some of these other things too. Because damn, we gonna miss it. We're gonna miss the train, literally.
Right.
We're gonna miss the damn train.
Right.
This is how we're living in America. But the point of it all is no matter what they're doing and coming up with, it's all gonna come to naught for the sole purpose of what we're doing right now. The sole purpose of us traveling to that Passover, despite it being hell to get there. Niggas be talking about that Passover, Damon. That nigga working. He works every year. He's good.
Yep.
He's good. He is good. Man, personal story. Yo, I just got my little supervisor job. Hey, just got it. Petrified to lose it. I was like, yo. I caught like the people telling me, like, yeah, you take off for that many days, it might be a wrap.
Is it?
I was like, yo, cap. I call. I'm like, yo, Cap, sir. So, like, what do I do now? But this is how certain I am about this thing here. How the scripture says, make your election sure. This is how certain I am about this. I knew that whatever he told me to do, I was going to do it. And I didn't have any remorse about doing it, period. Even though he tried to give me certain reassurances like, you got brothers, we'll get you another job, we'll help you do this, we'll do that. You know what I'm saying? When he told me, I'm not going to tell you what to do, brother, but it's up to you. But if I was you, I would get the Passover. I said, come on, cuz, sir. I said, like, straight, there was nothing else to talk about. The rest that he gave me was just, I mean, I ain't gonna say he was wasting his breath, but it was extra motivation because I was like, cool, I'm gone. I would, however, I gotta get there, like last minute calls, boo, boo, boo. Yo, I'm not coming. Sorry. Look, I'm gonna lose it all to gain it all, though. That's what happens. And I mean, straight up and down. One thing he told me, and it was cold too. He said, so what if you lose the job anyway? What if you stay and then come Monday, you don't have a job anyway? And now you done missed this Passover.
That's cold. That's cold.
Yo, what do you want? Like, you have to figure out now in life what you want. We have to know these things. Like, we gotta understand that this life that we're trying to live, although it may not be an easy walk, it's a worthy one. Like, nobody's doing what we're doing. Like, you gotta literally be mentally strong to do these things. Like, to say that you're gonna actually spend your own bread on things that you don't see a return for, some people would be like, you stupid. You're insane. You tripping. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're giving away things and you may not never like, think about Abraham. The Lord gave him a promise that his children would be multiplied like the stars of heaven, that they would have a kingdom or have a land where they would live in peace. Abraham died. Like, he had one son. One. Like, he had Ishmael, but there was they gone. Like, so that nigga was faithful unto his death, even though he didn't get to an inkling of seeing that. Like, the man left home. Like, I think about moving. You go from the East Coast to the West Coast on a whim because the Lord said to do it and you just did it. And then he was like, yeah, I'm going to give you some stuff. And then you die. You're like, hey, this is what that's our point. That's what we do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We put it all on the line and do everything that we're supposed to do because what we understand is deeper than what people in the world understand. They don't get this. But that's why they're in hell. Because they don't have the loyalty to anything, not even to themselves. Like, people in the world destroy themselves because they don't understand demons. They don't understand what a hard time is. They don't understand how you can get pulled out of hard times with brothers and sisters or with counseling. They don't have the things that we have, the resources. Like being in here is a resource. It's the same way the the Masons like to use their things, or everybody else, the AKAs and the fraternities, what I'm saying, we are a resource to one another. This is how we are going to survive. But the coldest part is we have a head start on everybody else because we have a moral guide. Like the Bible is just more than just the stories. Like if all of this was to again stop today, we would know how to build a nation up without having somebody else be over us and tell us. I remember hearing from black people saying they wouldn't want to be in an all nigger world or all government ruled by niggas because they think that we're gonna just oppress each other. They think we're just gonna kill each other. They think we're gonna do the same way them Africans did over there in Rwanda, and they think that's how it's gonna be because of the way that things are now. But they don't look at okay, they don't look at the way we have this Bible and the way that the reason why we're using it. The reason why we use this Bible the way we do is because we're building a government. And that's what people don't understand. They still look at this thing like it's a religious book. They don't look at it like, yo, we're building a nation of people and you have to have rules to govern those people. They just look at this like, man, that's a whole bunch of rules. I'm not following all them rules. It's a lot. They think about if I gotta serve that guy and keep all them rules, that's something I can't do anyway. So why even do it? Think about it. Christians say it all the time. You can't keep all the laws. That's what Christians say. And they don't even look at it like, damn, we could actually have something greater than what we have. They think again that America that's it. This is it. This is it for us. YOLO. There is no more, you go to heaven after this, or you go to hell. But that's the hypocrisy with Christianity. Because what determines if you go to heaven or hell? If you don't follow anything. If you don't have no laws or no God or nothing that says, like, even they say the Big Ten, you really don't have to keep them if you're a Christian. Because once you're about to die, all you got to say is, God, forgive me on your deathbed. I've heard that. Have you ever heard that? Just say on your deathbed, God, I'm sorry. God, forgive me. And you accept Jesus Christ. And you get to go to heaven. So, nigga, I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do, like, at all. They completely skip over the part that just because your punishment is not now, it's not expedient, doesn't mean it's going to happen. We all have to be punished. We all have to get a reward. That's just what it is. But recognizing why we're doing this is what gets us the reward that everybody else doesn't see outside of this gate while we're having the peace. So what I'm saying is, like, again, while we were at Passover, people were dying. People were like literally in all kinds of hell. There was nothing they could do about it. They had to suffer. And some of it is our fault. And I'm gonna tell you why. While we were there, we were praying, right? What were we praying for? The curses. Destruction of America. Like those curses, right? People have to be destroyed in order for us to live. Like people have to go through hell in order for this thing to become heaven. Meaning all the things in America, like when we see whores, we see prostitutes, when we see drug addicts, when we see murderers, when we see rapists, when we see pedophiles, when we see all of these things, right? These things have to happen. Because America, this is the only way this place is going to come to an end, right? That's the only way the Lord says their sins are going to fill up to heaven. And that's the way the cup overflows. Once it starts to overflow, cool, it comes back down. These things have to happen. That's why when we're praying for those things and we're praying against the LGBT movement and all of these things, people gotta be gay. That's the messed up part about it. Somebody got, I mean, because we're here now and we're in this captivity. This is what a lot of people don't see neither. They think we're free. Because they think we're free, they don't see that life could be better than what you've always had.
Right.
And that's what we see when we go to Passover. That's what we see. Like that, man, that road trip that I had with Zabak was just like me and the brother talking. Just I didn't know niggas could talk for hours. Like just to keep it 1,000. Like brother, just saying men don't talk like this, but so many conversations and different things were coming up, and it's just like, dog, yeah, this is a beautiful thing though, because not only that, like you get to like, dog, you get to even talk about things that you would never even find yourself saying,
Right.
because you don't have those people to talk to.
Right.
Like you're struggling, like you just gotta, hey, I gotta talk to somebody. But usually men just hold those things in and we just deal with it. But in here, we don't have to do that. When we go to Passover, we can let all of those things go. Like I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, you hear it. Like so many brothers and sisters came back hoarse from the all black party, you know what I'm saying? From like just screaming at Passover, just, yo, this is a beautiful thing that we have to have. Is it what you call it? Some AC in here? Oh, yeah, you can turn it on you. Yeah, Baba Shah. I'm good. I'm good. Because these things is like the most, this is why it's just always so important for us to make Passover and for us to remember the point of it. Because, I mean, without it, yo, that everyday life is just going to continue to beat the hell out of you. Like having that, even if brothers just go up and drive for that one day and just enjoy the Passover for that one day, like it is just such a break from life, a break from hell. Like even just to sit in the damn lobby of the hotel and kick the shit, like we just no worries. Like I don't remember many moments in my life where I didn't have to worry about something. I only think that happened when I was a child. You feel what I'm saying? And now the way it is in America, children don't have that they go to school thinking like, man, I'm traumatized. I'm about to get shot. I'm about to get bullied. I'm about to get this. I gotta go home and get beat on by my parents and all of these things now because of how wicked America has become. Like, I mean, had no choice. It was gonna go there anyway because hell, they started off this way. They started off killing us. They started off beating babies. But, you know, the main thing that we have to just see is the amount of bliss that you can have, like genuine bliss that you can actually have in this world. Because a lot of us don't think we can be happy. When I found out that I think it's 3 out of 4, I think maybe don't quote me on this. Half of the women in America are on some kind of psych medication. This is an issue. Well, it may be a little less than half, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, but somewhere in here. When you have to have this many people on medication to be able to think straight and have their mood to be normalized, or be normal, this is an evil thing that's going on to our people. I was bringing out the numbers the other day when we have 64,000 black women going missing every year. This is an insane thing that is happening to our people. And just to be able to have a moment of peace, you have to turn off your phone, go away on a vacation, spend money that you don't have You know what I'm saying? Like you have to pretty much put yourself into more hell just to be able to say, I can breathe a little bit. That's the kind of place that we live in. But somehow we've been convinced that this is the best place to be. We've been convinced that this is the best life to have. When really, we spend one day at Passover and realize that, yo, this is shit.
Shit.
like, like we're living in shit. Like this is the worst place to be ever. Like, and then we try to say like, yo, I want to go somewhere else, but where can you go? Like, where can you go and not be objectified or treated like a nigga? You know what I'm saying? Or treated like, not treated like here, not treated like you would in the UPK, not treated like you would in Israel if it was your home. Like, if we could just go back home and for a day, one day, and just see how it is to have our own kingdom, I think that would change the minds of so many people. But I mean, of course, that's a dream. I mean, that's a dream because first of all, so many things have to happen for that to happen. We have to get rid of everything that we see now. Everything before our eyes, the streets of America have to go, the governments, the entire nine. But that's why we're doing what we're doing. Quick question. You got any questions or anything? Okay, Congress, I need to get into a couple of these scriptures so I can. I talk too much. My apologies. Con. All right, so one more time. Let me read this Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. All in all, this is what I'm talking about. This is all I'm saying. The things that we're doing now and what we're fighting for is to have that moment of peace and have some kind of heaven while everybody else is in hell. They may not realize it, but usually they have a day when they just break down and cry from all the frustration in their life. That's usually how things go. I think sisters cry a lot more than men when things go a little hard. But I really wonder, is that like a, well, you're a woman. Let me ask you. Do you cry like, you know what I'm saying, like to kind of like relieve pressure or stress or something like that? Or do you know sisters like that, that like some sisters that cry a lot?
No, come on. I don't cry a whole lot, but I will like here and there to, yeah, my husband be like, oh, you crying for this, or I know it's wrong, but like he always knows what's wrong while I'm crying. But I cry here and
Just to kind
not
of like
often.
clear. Does it? But okay. Does it feel like a pressure is being released once you like something off your shoulders?
I say that. I just say
Because okay, because I've really never understood why sisters cry.
that.
I'm sorry. I mean I don't get it. I'm trying. That's what I want to know though. That's why I kind of really
Oh,
want to understand.
um,
Like, what is it? Is it just like the emotion is too overwhelming?
sometimes it can be a mix of. I mean, for me, it's just I know some sisters be like I cry because I'm mad.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I
No,
think
I've
that
been in there when I've been angry and I'm about
yeah,
to fight or
I'm about
something.
to yeah. Um, some sometimes it's just so stressful, and you are kind of overwhelmed with like the situation, and then everything else that's going on around you too. It can be
Mm-hmm.
like a high stress environment. So
Okay.
a lot of times women are crying because of that, regardless of them saying, I'm just crying because I'm mad. No, sometimes it's real life. Like I got 1,000 things that I'm trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
or I got I got 1,000 things that I'm trying to do or even thinking about, and other
Oh.
things are
Mm-hmm.
just moving in place. Also, it's just a lot. It can
Oh, I
weigh
got
heavy.
you. I got you. It's too overwhelming.
Yes,
Too overwhelming. Too many thoughts.
right.
But at the same time, outside of the thoughts, life is happening,
Life is happening.
and you have to deal with it.
Kind
And so the crying kind of like,
of sometimes it relieves, and sometimes it's just sometimes it don't. Like for
yeah.
me, sometimes if it doesn't, then I'm talking to my husband. Sometimes if I cry, I can pretty much like we go in the other room and for a few minutes, and then sometimes I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
It just depends.
Okay, I got you. I got you. And see, that's very important when dealing with the sister because it's not into the kingdom of heaven. And I'll tell you why. Brothers don't really a lot of time have the compassion that we need to have because we're always trying to be so hard.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like we don't ever want to seem weak or feel like we can't be the one to defend our women too. So even times when we see our sisters crying, our mind doesn't always go to compassion and empathy. It's more so of defense mode. Not us offended, but like, let me give you a solution to stop you from crying. Like, why are you crying? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't cry. Here, let's figure this out. But not realizing that the cry is just like a bath. So it's like taking a hot bath, or maybe.
I mean, some women are different. Some
Mm-hmm.
women are they. Yeah, this is a stress reliever, and some like sometimes my sister be like, I'm crying. Sometimes I don't want him to just try and just fix it all the time. I just want
Mm-hmm.
you to hear me. Or sometimes I want you to try and. I don't know. A lot of women are different. I can
Right,
only
right.
speak for
Of
myself.
course.
Most times, the solution is, for me is to get counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, most times, since I'm in school now,
Right.
outside of here, I can't tell you why these bras crying.
Ah,
I can't
see,
tell you.
so okay,
See?
so you have that heaven
Yeah,
in the
I
midst
have
of their
that.
hell.
That's right. That's right.
So you have that.
Yeah, and I take advantage of my resources. I really do.
Oh God,
I'm gonna
so
take advantage of my resources.
wow, so they crying and they're
Right.
struggling.
They struggle, but I'm not gonna tell you that I don't cry when things are kind of stressful for me.
Right, right.
There was a time I was in school, and then on top of that, my husband had been home every day that week, and
Mm-hmm.
so on top of me trying to do schoolwork, he's asking me to do a lot and this and that, and
I see.
that week specifically, especially towards the end of the week, was
Mm.
overwhelming. I just took a shower, I cried in the shower, when I came out, I was good.
Yeah.
A lot of women, they handle things differently. So
I
that's what
love
I
my
said.
four little
Me,
ribs. She does that. She did that before. She
yeah,
just go off and cry and then
just
come
go out and
back.
cry and come back. But sometimes, like different sisters, they're different. Sometimes they still need to talk about it or still need assistance or something like that. So I can. That's why I said I can really only speak for myself and what I do and how I handle it. But it's definitely for sure overwhelming. An
Right.
overwhelming situation.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. That's amazing. I get it now. I get it. And I mean, it's very clear as to why it's necessary that
Yeah.
a woman cries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, obviously, men or women are totally different. So the way that men deal with our stress,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, we don't have to cry about it
Yeah.
because we have other ways of getting it out. So, yeah, I think if you all didn't have those tears, it would be more in the aggression area. Like y'all would have to hit somebody or something.
Probably.
Yeah, just to
Probably.
yeah, I understand. So let me read this. Daniel chapter 2, verse 44. It says, and in those days of these kings shall the Most High of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. This is what we fight for, what we want. For these kingdoms to break into pieces, for these things to disappear, in order for us to have our kingdom. But we can't have that without cooperation from our people.
Right.
When we pull at Zephaniah chapter 2, gather all Israel together, or gather Israel together, I ain't gonna say all. It pulls something else out of me to where I have to realize that a lot of our people. Let's just look at some numbers real quick, right? It's about 40 million black people in America, right? Men and women and children. You have about 2 million or so um, Native Americans or Native Indians. You have about 100 million or so Hispanics. So that's about what 150 million people or something like that, right? Or excuse me, 142 million or somewhere around there. Now let's look at say 2/3 of that not making it. 142 million people. So half of that would be what? What's 140, 70 million people? Then we take off another 30 or 40 million people. The nation being cut down to 30 million people. And that's just with dealing with America. Now, and it's very sparse on the other side of how many Israelites there are on in the Eastern world. All of these people have to perish for wanting to come against this kingdom, wanting to come against the kingdom of Israel. Like when we pray for those curses and all of those things to happen, we're asking the Lord to speed up this destruction. But we have to also consider that this is going to be a lot of people that's going to die. Not just heathens, these are going to be people that we love, people that we deal with on a daily, our friends, our family, our cousins, all of these things. Like, let me pull the scripture real quick. I'm going to pull a couple more and then we'll end it out. Let me pull this scripture just really quick. Let me see. This is one. Here we go. Amos 5 and 8, 5 and 18. Amos 5 and 18. Let me show you this. This is insane. We want the day of the Lord to come, and it's gonna be a beautiful thing as far as when it happens and we're set back in place. And when we are where we're going to be and be at peace. And we'll be at peace because we'll get taken up into the chariots and we'll be watching the destruction of America. And all of these things will be great as far as the reason they're happening. But I want to show everybody something. This is Amos chapter 5, verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. This is going to be one of the most scariest things to ever happen in our lives. Lights, complete darkness, bombs flying, bullets flying, people dying everywhere. This is not going to be a peaceful thing. And we're going to have to watch these things happen before our eyes. You talk about PTSD now. You talk about trauma now. Imagine the counsel people are going to have after this. This is going to have to be like, I was reading the scriptures and hearing about or reading things and saying how or seeing how generations after we left out of Egypt, the children stopped necessarily believing the stories of what happened in Egypt to the point to where how it is now. It's just a story. We don't even people. I mean, Hell, Israelites be like, I don't understand how that could happen. I mean, is this even if it did happen? Did it happen like that? I mean, did this happen? All of these storms and this. I mean, what caused these things? All these things. Like we just hearing these stories, it doesn't put the fear in your heart as if it would with you seeing it right there before your eyes.
Right.
Like the wars and the hell that people were having to suffer while we were in Passover, that's small compared to what we're asking to happen. It's very minor because if 2/3 of our people are going to perish, what about the heathen? I mean, how many of them get to live? Hardly, probably none. It's going to be probably thousands of their races. They're going to probably be cut down to 1 million people apiece. Who knows? Like, there hasn't been a plague on earth. There hasn't been a crusade. There hasn't been a genocide. There hasn't been a mass killing that is going to be as bad as this one. Like people everywhere are going. There's not going to be a place. I remember watching that movie Rwanda, and there was a scene in there when the guy was driving his van, and it was foggy outside, and it started getting bumpy on the road, and they didn't know what the hell was going on. And before they knew it, the truck got stuck and it couldn't go anymore. So they had to get out. And when they stepped out, they tripped and fell on top of dead bodies. Like they didn't realize that for damn near 1.5 miles, they were driving on top of dead bodies. That is how it is going to be in the streets of America. You can't go anywhere. You won't be able to do anything. There won't be no grocery stores. It won't be, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no Ubers. Ain't no internet. It would just be you and your thoughts and the niggas next to you trying to survive. Everybody is going to have to pick and choose what side they want to be on. And they're going to have to do it now. I don't know if people have been keeping up with the wars and everything that's going on. Iran shot off missiles at Israel. Israel said they shot down about 99% of those missiles. But just think, had they only shot down 85% of those missiles, they would be going to war in Iran right now, which means that then they would have to include other nations, and we would have to include more nations. We're so close to World War III that I'm almost afraid for people right now, like for Americans, like for Black people, Hispanics, and Native. I'm almost afraid because I'm almost afraid for myself too because I'm just praying that I'm right at this point. Like I'm praying that what I'm doing is enough, even though I feel like it's not. You feel what I'm saying? Like I don't. Hell, we all gonna get into the kingdom because we're gonna be reborn, but I don't want to be the least. I don't want to be the pooper scooper nigga. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the door holder. I don't want to be none of them niggas. I want to be the nigga that's up. Like I want to be lit in the goddamn kingdom. I don't want to be poor in the kingdom.
That's right.
Nigga, I'm poor here. Like I'm struggling in this month. I don't want to come on. I can't. Hell nah. But I'm just thinking about how close we are and how many people. My cousin told me he wouldn't get in here because he got to get his hair lined up. If he can't get a if he has to let his hair grow and he can't get no line up, this ain't for him. He ain't gonna do it. And with me thinking that right there and knowing that, I'm just like, damn, I gotta watch you die. That's the heartbreaking part about it. I mean, it's already hard enough for us to see our loved ones die in this life. You know what I'm saying? Like just to see them die of natural causes, things like cancer, or even to see them get shot down in the street. But just think about having to hear Everybody dying.
Right.
Like outside of your window, outside of your door. Like, I don't know how soon when the war starts that the Lord's gonna snatch us up.
Right.
I don't know, like if that's gonna be automatic, like first bomb take the niggas up, or let a few bombs drop. You know what I'm saying? A few niggas die. Like I don't know, but all I do know is niggas are gonna die.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, and we're so close right now. Like nothing is gonna matter in the moment. None of this shit is gonna matter. Like all the me trying to keep my job, it ain't gonna matter. Like I can work and work and work and get $1 million today, and the war could pop off and, and be dead ass broke again. That is the way life is happening right now, and how fast it's happening here in America for us. We better decide what we're gonna do. We have the good thing is we're already in our little piece of heaven. That's the good thing about it. But the terrible part is we have to watch everybody outside that window die. Like that's the hard part about it. Like that's even coming in the truth. And I'm gonna end it with this. Even coming in the truth, we watch so many people suffer and die and go through things while we're in here straight and thriving. Like even if we don't be all the way all the time, like financially straight, like our health is good. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not lost out there. We're not addicted to dope. We're not hoes. And you know what I'm saying? Like we ain't abusing ourselves. Like people, like some of our sisters come in cutters. You know what I'm saying? Cutting themselves and all. They don't have to do that no more. They find ways out of these things. But everybody else, they don't get that chance. Or they have to go to their grave with these things. That's the hard part about being in here. And watching them say, I don't care about you niggas doing what y'all doing. Like for people to, that's a hard demon that's on people. That's one hell of a demon for them to be under oppression and not even know it and say, I don't care about you and your freedom. Because you may think, they say you may think you're free, but you're in the same position that I'm in. Like we live in the same areas and all this, when really not realizing it's this that's free.
Right.
Our spirits are free. Like we have something to look forward to. They don't ever. They wake up in the morning and I mean, what they got? They got to go to slavery, get off slavery. They got children that they hate, wives that they hate. I mean, they don't like their homeboys, don't like their homegirls. They don't have enough money. When they do have enough money, they only can abuse themselves with the money because so much money. What can I do? I remember watching Will Smith, and he said that he has had so much money, done so many things in life that he no longer finds a purpose in life. That's horrible. That's why like in here the heaven and the peace is simply I got a purpose. You feel me? Like I know the things that I'm doing in here is actually giving me something to where I don't have to go out in life and I ain't gotta get high all the time. I don't have to have a bunch of sex with a whole bunch of people. Like I ain't gotta fly all over the world. I don't have to jump out of a goddamn airplane. I ain't gotta do none of that. Just to try to find a purpose in life. People struggle their entire life trying to find their purpose. In here, I have one. Like, brothers and sisters can save lives in here. Like, everybody that we grab, everybody that we teach, everybody that we talk to, everybody that we feed, like, we're planting seeds. And that's all that we need to do. Plant that seed, save a life. That's how it's going to work. That's the only way we'll be able to build our nation and get to the kingdom of heaven. Outside of that, everybody's going to struggle, and we're going to have to watch them. That's the choice that we have to make. Do we want a lot of people to suffer? Do we want a little people to suffer? But with that, I want to say